Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're well, hope you're having a great week. So today I thought I'd talk about a new piece of equipment I've been using to help me improve my videos going forward, and that is the Zeapon Micro 2 slider. Now Zeapon kindly sent me this unit to review for them, give my honest opinion. Now I said this is absolutely fine, I'm really happy to check it out as a piece of equipment I'd really like to look at, but I'd only do it if I could give my honest opinions, and they said that was fine and they sent it out to me to help me improve my videos and give my honest thoughts. So yeah, I'm going to take a quick look at this today, showing you some behind the scenes footage of me using it, how I've been using it in my vlog. So just quickly go over the actual device. So if you're not familiar with the slider, basically a slider will allow you to move your camera from one position to another in a nice fluid motion whilst capturing video footage. So yeah, it's really important for getting really nice stable shots. Now the problem with sliders, now I owned a slider a couple of years ago. I ended up selling it because I just wasn't using it, and I used to use it for product videography, but it was 2 foot in length. It used to take 2 tripods, one either end, to keep it stable, and to be honest, getting a very smooth motion was very difficult, and to be honest, I wasn't that good at using it, to be honest, whether that's just me, but I wasn't particularly great at using it, so I ended up selling it. I was really keen to try out this completely new concept, and basically it's a lot more compact. Now this slider in itself will travel 21 inches, which is not far off the 2 foot or 24 inch slider that I had before, but it's actually only 13 inches wide, which is fantastic, which means it's ideal for throwing in your backpack, taking on a hike, or little travel expedition. So yeah, perfectly compact little size. So it's got its own friction as well built into the actual sliding mechanism as well, which is great because you actually have to push the slider quite hard to get it to move from A to B. Now what that means is you can get a very fluid motion in your video footage, which is great because I just couldn't use those old rail sliders. I just couldn't maintain that continuous flow of motion, whereas this, you have to push it quite hard to get it to go from A to B, and that initial tension allows you to get a nice steady movement across your image. So the slider is very simple, to be honest, and I think that's why I like it so much. At the minute it's not motorized, but I do believe they are making a motorized mechanism that will be controlled by an app that you can use to make it travel over a period of time. So that'll be cool as well. I think that's coming out in the near future, maybe in the new year. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to trying that out as well. So let me just quickly show you how the slider works. It's really simple, which is what I like about it. It's got 2 buttons that just release the mechanism, and you just literally slide then from the left to the right and so forth. And it's got this belt with these 2 pulleys, and you've got essentially two different sliding motions. You've got the actual center piece which is moving on the belt, and you've also got the rail, so that's what's giving you that extra travel, which is great because it just means it's so compact but you can get that fluid sliding motion. It's also got these little dust filter things in the side here which stops any dust getting into the rails as well, so it kind of cleans the rail as it's moving as well, so you don't need to worry about that, which is absolutely brilliant. Now it comes with a couple of accessories, which is good. It's got a little ball head. Now this isn't a top quality ball head like you would have on a tripod, but it's quite cool that they send it to you, because if you don't have a spare one, at least it gets you going until you can get like a fluid head. So this is great. Obviously you just drop it on your camera, so that just gets you set up without any hassle. And as you can see now, it's just super easy to slide the camera from left to right. Now once you've got the camera on there, there's a few things that you can obviously do. You can lock that off so it's not going to move. So underneath here we've got our threaded adapter here for connecting it directly to a tripod or a base plate. So you can put an Arc Swiss plate on there, or Manfrotto plate, attach it to your tripod head, which is great, and that's really helpful. Also you can buy this as well as an addition, which is called the Easy Lock, and essentially it's a very low level tripod. It allows you to attach the slider to it, keep it nice and low to the floor, which is great for those low level tracking shots. And that literally sits on there. So even if you've got a wobbly table like mine, which is an old rustic table, you can see it's wobbling. You can adjust these feet to get it to stay nice and level. and that completely takes any wobble out of it. So that's really handy as well. So that gives you a really stable base then to use the slider in a low level position, which is great for any product photography shots or anything like that you might be doing, or any low level shots that's on relatively hard ground. So like this shot here, for example, and I was able to get this tracking shot of the river here, which you can see. So that worked really well for that. So you can get that motion from left to right very, very easily. Now, I would recommend holding on to your tripod head as opposed to the camera. It's going to reduce any shake. I feel the higher you go up with it, the more flex you're going to get. So the lower you can get your hand down, the better, and you can get a really smooth, fluid motion. So that works really well. They also supply you with this base plate as well, which is great. Let me just lock the camera off, and you've got this really cool wind up locking mechanism, which is really nice. And then that allows you to mount this on a tripod. So at the minute I've got an Arca Swiss plate on there, which allows me to attach it to any of my Arca Swiss clamps, which I've got on all of my tripods. So that's super quick and easy. So you can attach it to your tripod. So yeah, really, really simple. Now, one of the things I always look for in a product is build quality. And I have to say, the build quality of this is exceptional. It really is. It's solid, sturdy piece of kit. You don't need to have it mounted on 2 tripods or anything like that. 1 tripod, as long as you've got a firm hand on the tripod as you're pushing it, you're going to get a really stable footage. Yeah, and the build quality is exceptional, it really is. Because the design is so simple, there's nothing really that can break in it, I don't think. Even the plastic seems good quality, durable plastic. The belt here seems strong as well. I don't see that snapping. And yeah, it looks like a really good quality product, and over the last 3 weeks that I've used it, I've been very, very pleased with it actually. So let's talk about a few of the negatives. Well, there aren't many to be honest, but a couple of things I think is worth pointing out. And this is the Allen key that they give you, which they put a lot of time and effort in. They really have. It's, you know, it fits in here perfectly well. You know, it won't come out. It's really, really handy. But the only thing is, it doesn't really fit that much stuff on the slider. So, for example, here it won't fit. It won't fit in these either. It won't fit in these. In actual fact, it only really fits in these end bolts here, and there's a couple on the top there. But I think what they actually send it for is for the mounting plate itself. Oops. So essentially, let me just put that there. Essentially, there's 4 Allen keys in here, which allow you to put more pressure on your mounting plate, and that just stops this from swiveling. So you can just, once you've tightened your plate on there, you can then just go ahead and tighten a couple of those screws down. That's going to stop it swiveling. So essentially, I think that's what they've built it for. To not make it universal, I think is a bit of maybe a mistake on their part. So I think as well, the screw that attaches the Easy Lock to the actual slider is obviously one of these slotted screws, which again, once you've tightened that up like really tight, which you need to, then obviously it's difficult. I've just done it then, but sometimes it can be difficult to undo it. So it would have been nice, instead of it being a slot, if it could have been the same Allen key, you know, save you having to go into your pocket, maybe get a penny out or something like that, or use a Swiss Army knife to, you know, release it. So that would have been really nice if all of the screws and bolts in this fitted this one wrench, and then everything would be ideal and perfect. So going forward, I think that would be a really good improvement for them to make. One of the other negatives is it has got a slight grease to it. You know, if you touch the inside of the rails there, I can see it glistening on my fingers. There is a silicone grease on it, which is obviously helping it run smoothly. Obviously, if you've got silicone on your hands and you're, you know, messing around with your camera gear, you're transferring that silicone to your camera gear as well, you know, which is not ideal. You really don't want to be getting grease all over your kit. So that's something to think about, especially if you accidentally touch your lens element or something like that. You're going to get horrible fingerprints over everything. So I'm not a massive fan of silicone. I'll be cleaning this off actually for future use to make sure I don't transfer grease to my gear. So that's probably another negative. But, you know, these are only small negatives. I guess the other thing I would say is once you put the Easy Lock on, it is adding a significant amount of weight to the slider. So I wouldn't personally take this with me on a long hike. That would be staying at home. But this is absolutely brilliant for anything that you want to shoot on in the studio. You know, you can just pop this down on a desk and, you know, be able to get some really stable footage. So it's a very, very good piece of gear, but I don't think I'd be taking it on long hikes or landscape photography trips. Aside from that, you know, this doesn't weigh a huge amount, to be honest. It's not that much more than, say, my drone, a couple of batteries and the remote controller for the drone. So potentially, if it's too windy to take the drone, I'll probably take this instead. So yeah, I think it will be very good for that. This will take up to 8 kilograms as well. So, you know, this is going to take a cinema camera, which is unbelievable, really. So this slide is going to work really well for me, I think, going forward, especially when I can't take the drone. It's going to allow me to get more dynamic shots when I'm out shooting. I also found out, actually by accident, another way that you can get a tracking shot without touching the camera as well. So, and this is really simple. You do need to set the slider up at an angle, and you can do this obviously on your tripod. But if you set the slider up on an angle, extend the slider out fully, and then just let go of the camera, it will slide on its own. Now obviously the steeper that angle, the quicker it's going to slide. So this is sliding very, very slowly. So potentially I could set this up on an angle, do a walking shot in my vlog, and this could be tracking out from behind a tree, and yeah, just capturing that motion while I'm walking or something like that. And this is great as well. It's going to reduce any vibrations that you're going to be getting as well, so you don't have to touch it. And what's great about this is there's no, you know, motorized unit on this as well, so I'm not going to be faffing around with an app or anything like that. It's just about creating the correct angle, and that's going to determine the speed of the tracking shot. And I think this is absolutely fantastic. I just stumbled across this by accident, really, by not actually having my tripod completely level, and after I did it, I thought, wow, this is amazing. I'm going to be able to use this for sure. So this is going to work really, really well. It's just because it's got its own friction, and yeah, it's going through that motion really, really slowly, like we can see here. So yeah, really pleased about that. Just put that out of the way. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. It was really cool testing this product out. I'm really enjoying it actually, and I'll be using it a lot in my vlogs. Now hopefully it's going to improve my vlogs for you guys as well. I've been very, very careful about products that I've reviewed on the channel. I want to make sure that they're going to be used on the channel. They're going to improve things for you guys and make it visually better for you guys as well. So I've turned a lot of product reviews away. I probably get a couple every week, and you know, at this stage I've only done 2, and that is purely because I want to improve things on the channel. So I appreciate your time. Hope you enjoy the video. Hope you like it. There's a little bit of sort of insight behind the scenes of how we're filming stuff going forward. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. Take care. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe and all that good stuff, and I'll see you next week. Take care.